What if I told you that a car built for endurance racing, not Formula One, broke some of the most untouchable speed records in motorsport history? That it outpaced the best F1 machines, not in theory, but on real tracks? Meet the Porsche 919 Hybrid EVO, a car so fast, so technologically advanced, that it rewrote what we thought was possible on four wheels. But how did Porsche, a brand known for precision over wild rebellion, create a machine that shattered records at tracks like Spa and Nürburgring? And why did they build it, knowing it would never compete in a race? Buckle up, because we're diving into the untold story of how Porsche created the ultimate outlaw. A car unshackled from the rules, engineered to defy limits, and destined to make history. Chapter 1. The Rise of a Racing Titan. Before we get to the Evo, let's rewind. Porsche's dominance at Le Mans wasn't an accident. The 24 hours of Le Mans is more than a race. It's a grueling battle of endurance, engineering, and sheer willpower. And for years, Porsche held the crown. The Porsche 919 Hybrid, its predecessor, was already a masterpiece. But here's the twist. Porsche didn't just want to win Le Mans. They wanted to dominate, rewrite the rules, and push the boundaries of what a hybrid car could do. By 2015, the 919 Hybrid was a powerhouse, winning Le Mans and the World Endurance Championship 3 years in a row. It was fast, yes, but also incredibly efficient, harvesting energy from both exhaust gases and braking to maximize power. The engineers weren't satisfied, though. They saw potential, a glimmer of what the car could be if they weren't shackled by racing regulations. And that's when the seeds of the Evo were planted. Chapter 2. Unshackling the Beast. Now let's dive deeper into the pivotal moment that changed everything. In 2017, Porsche made a shocking decision. They pulled out of the World Endurance Championship, WEC, leaving fans in the motorsport world in disbelief. Why would one of the most dominant forces in racing walk away from a title they had so easily claimed? But behind the scenes, Porsche's engineers were far from upset. In fact, they were grinning. They knew something the world didn't yet. A bold, unthinkable idea was in the works. What if they could take the 919 Hybrid, a car already considered one of the best endurance racers in history, and let it loose? No more rules, no more restrictions. Just a relentless pursuit of performance. And that's exactly what they did. With the world watching, Porsche unleashed the 919 Hybrid EVO, a car designed not to race but to rewrite history itself. Stripped of all racing regulations, no weight restrictions, no fuel limits, and no aerodynamic rules, it became a machine unlike anything the racing world had seen before. What did that mean? It meant the EVO could do things no other car could. Its turbocharged V4 engine, combined with its electric motors, pumped out an astounding 1,160 horsepower, nearly 200 more than the original 919 Hybrid. But that's just the beginning. The EVO's aerodynamics were radically advanced, generating a jaw-dropping 53% more downforce than its predecessor, enabling it to stay glued to the track at unprecedented speeds. This wasn't just a car, it was an engineering marvel built for one purpose: to dominate. Chapter 3. The Spa-Francorchamps Shockwave. It's April 2018, and the legendary Spa-Francorchamps circuit in Belgium is buzzing with anticipation. Known as a track where Formula One cars dominate and lap records stand as unshakable benchmarks, it's about to witness history. Enter the Porsche 919 Hybrid EVO, a car stripped of racing regulations, designed for one purpose: to obliterate limits. In just one breathtaking lap, the EVO roars across the finish line with a time of 1:41.770. It's a staggering achievement, smashing Lewis Hamilton's 2017 pole position in a Mercedes-AMG F1 car. Think about it. An endurance race car beating a Formula One car on its own turf. How was that even possible? The secret lay in its revolutionary design. The EVO's active aerodynamics, including a drag reduction system, DRS, inspired by Formula One, reduced drag on straights while maximizing downforce through corners. It wasn't just a car, it was an engineering marvel. Its lightweight materials, precisely calibrated suspension, and a hybrid powertrain generating over 1,160 horsepower made it nothing short of a rocket ship. Drivers described it as unlike anything they'd ever driven, a car that demanded perfection but rewarded with unparalleled performance. The EVO didn't just beat the record, it shattered the perception of what endurance cars could achieve. But here's the twist. Spa was only the opening act. Porsche wasn't done pushing boundaries, not by a long shot. Chapter 4. Conquering the Green Hell. The Nürburgring Nordschleife, often called the ultimate proving ground, is a beast in its own right. Stretching over 12.9 miles, this legendary track is a maze of tight corners, dramatic elevation changes, and unforgiving asphalt. It's earned its nickname, the Green Hell, for good reason. Only the bravest dare to challenge it, and even fewer survive its punishing demands. It's where legends are made, but also where countless dreams are shattered. Yet in June 2018, Porsche decided to take on this legendary track with the 919 Hybrid EVO, a car that had already defied expectations. The target? To break a record that had stood untouched for an astonishing 35 years. The Nürburgring lap time of 6 minutes, 11.13 seconds, set by Stefan Bellof in a Porsche 956 back in 1983. What happened next is nothing short of historic. The Evo tore through the Nordschleife in an astonishing 5 minutes, 19.546, obliterating Bellof's record by nearly a full minute. Just think about that. The Evo averaged over 145 miles per hour on a track that includes 73 corners and brutal elevation changes. This wasn't just a lap, it was a statement. Porsche had redefined what was possible on one of the most challenging racetracks in the world. Chapter 5. A legacy beyond racing. The 919 Hybrid EVO was never about trophies or championships. It was a bold statement, a declaration that Porsche's engineering prowess could not only compete with, but even surpass the best of Formula One. It wasn't just a race car, it was a vision of what's possible when boundaries are pushed to their limits. The EVO paved the way for innovations in electric mobility, inspiring the development of Porsche's all-electric Taycan and showcasing the brand's commitment to the future of automotive technology. But more than just a technological marvel, the EVO left an important question lingering in the air. What if motorsport wasn't constrained by rules? What if engineers had total freedom to design the fastest, most advanced car imaginable? The EVO gave us a tantalizing glimpse of that reality, and the result was nothing short of breathtaking. Chapter 6. The Secret Sauce, Engineering Brilliance. Let's start with a question. What separates a great car from a legendary one? Is it speed, design, or the way it changes the rules of the game entirely? For the Porsche 919 Hybrid EVO, the answer was simple: everything. When Porsche engineers were given the freedom to ignore regulations, they created a masterpiece. At the heart of this machine was a 2.0-liter turbocharged V4 engine, paired with a cutting-edge electric motor. On paper, the engine might sound underwhelming compared to the fire-breathing V12s of the past, but this wasn't just any engine. It was a meticulously designed powerhouse that combined old-school internal combustion with the latest in hybrid technology. The engine alone produced over 720 horsepower, but add in the electric motor, and the total output skyrocketed to a jaw-dropping 1,160 horsepower. That's more power than a modern Formula One car. Yet it wasn't just about brute force. The electric motor wasn't merely an auxiliary system. It was a game changer. Energy recovery systems. Here's where things get fascinating. Every time the car braked, it didn't waste energy in the form of heat. Instead, it captured that energy and stored it in a cutting-edge lithium-ion battery. This regenerative braking system turned the EVO into a self-sustaining speed demon, capable of unleashing bursts of electric power at just the right moments. This dual powertrain created a symphony of mechanical and electric performance. The internal combustion engine provided raw, unrelenting power, while the electric motor delivered instant torque, ensuring blistering acceleration out of every corner. Aerodynamics beyond imagination. And then there was the aerodynamics. The 919 Hybrid EVO didn't just cut through the air, it manipulated it. The engineers employed active aerodynamics, which means the car could adjust its wings and diffusers in real time based on speed, cornering forces, and track conditions. Imagine this: as the EVO hurtled down the Nürburgring's infamous straights at over 220 miles per hour, its aerodynamic systems reduced drag to maximize speed. But the moment it approached a corner, those same systems transformed, creating immense downforce to stick the car to the tarmac. The result? The EVO could corner at speeds that defied belief. It generated so much downforce that, theoretically, it could drive upside down in a tunnel. That's not just an engineering feat, that's a glimpse into the future of automotive innovation. Chapter 7. Why break records if you can't race? Here's a puzzling thought. Why create a car that doesn't compete in races? Why pour millions into developing a vehicle that exists purely to defy expectations? For Porsche, the answer was clear. The 919 Hybrid EVO wasn't just about breaking lap records. It was about breaking barriers. This car was a rolling laboratory, a test bed for technologies that would eventually trickle down to road cars. Innovation through exploration. The hybrid systems refined on the EVO laid the foundation for Porsche's road-going hybrids like the Panamera and Cayenne. And let's not forget the all-electric Porsche Taycan, which owes much of its cutting-edge battery and energy management systems to lessons learned from the 919 project. But there's more to it than just technology transfer. The EVO was a statement of intent, a way for Porsche to remind the world that endurance racing was every bit as innovative as Formula One. By obliterating lap records at Spa and the Nürburgring, Porsche showed that its engineers were not only keeping pace with F1, they were outpacing it. Chapter 8. The Driver's Perspective. A battle of man and machine. What's it like to be behind the wheel of a car that redefines the limits of physics? For Timo Bernhard, the man who piloted the EVO to its legendary Nürburgring lap, it was an experience he described as otherworldly, a test of reflexes and trust. Driving the EVO wasn't like driving a conventional race car. Its speed and responsiveness were so extreme that every decision had to be made in fractions of a second. Bernhard described the sensation as a constant battle between fear and exhilaration. The car does things you wouldn't think possible, he said. It's like it's reading your mind and responding before you even make a move. Every corner came faster than expected. Every straight disappeared in an instant, and yet the car felt stable, almost reassuring. It was as if the EVO's advanced systems were working alongside Bernhard, pushing him to extract every ounce of performance without crossing into chaos. The human element. Despite all the technology, the EVO's success wasn't just about engineering. It was about the human connection. Bernhard's skill, courage, and trust in the machine were just as important as the car's technical brilliance. It was a reminder that, at the end of the day, motorsport is still a deeply human endeavor. Chapter 9. Lessons for the future. The 919 Hybrid EVO may have retired, but its legacy is far from over. Its technology continues to influence Porsche's road cars, and its spirit lives on as a symbol of what's possible when engineers are allowed to dream without limits. Paving the way for electric dominance. The hybrid systems perfected in the EVO have been adapted for Porsche's electric revolution. The Taycan, for instance, features cutting-edge energy management systems that were first tested on the track. But the EVO's impact goes beyond Porsche. It has inspired the entire automotive industry to rethink what's possible with hybrid and electric technology. A reminder to dream big. Perhaps the greatest lesson of the 919 Hybrid EVO is this. Sometimes the greatest achievements come not from following the rules, but from breaking them. The EVO wasn't constrained by regulations, and that freedom allowed Porsche's engineers to create something truly extraordinary. Chapter 10. The big question. What comes next? Now here's the tantalizing question. If the 919 Hybrid EVO represents the pinnacle of what's possible when rules are thrown out the window, what's next? Will another manufacturer rise to the challenge and create a new record-breaking machine? Or will the EVO remain the ultimate outlaw, a once-in-a-lifetime car that dared to dream bigger than the sport itself? The future of automotive innovation is bright, and the EVO has set the bar impossibly high. But as history has shown, records are made to be broken. The only question is, who will dare to dream next?